Yes, I'm on.
So apparently you're supposed to pour hard. I don't understand how you pour hard.
I broke it.
Sorry about your table, James. What? Oh, stop pouring it, Charlie. It says to pour hard.
I had to pour my drink.
You don't want me to be a thirsty host? Co-host?
Co-host. Coast. 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 Late. Layla. Was he walking in a fountain?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He's just walking in place in a fountain. I'm going to be late.
He eats the pizza.
I'm going to be late. Late.
And then they zoom out.
That's right, the Oregano Pizza.
Yes.
Yeah, oregano.
The Oregano plant.
Air quotes.
Sanford and Dell.
Yeah.
What was their roommate's name?
I don't remember. I just remember it's like he had to take care of the plant for him.
No,
Todd was the hall monitor. Or whatever. No, he was
Brian Posehn.
The whatever it was. I can't remember. But Todd was the monitor, the dorm monitor, or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, the RA.
Yeah. See,
I can't eat this because it's bad for my colon.
Oh.
That was Brian Posehn, you know that?
Yeah, when they watch over that oregano plant.
Yeah.
He walks in.
Hey, how bad was it that it's the black guy that gives them the plant to hold on to?
Right.
Wow, MTV.
It was Dell and Sanford?
Yeah, Dell and Sanford were the main characters.
It was Sanford.
Hey, Dell. No, Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl. Oh, Sanford, is that our room? Yeah. Did you want me to pack your ass fur? Well, what's an ass fur? For pooing.
I just remember they walk into the plant. I think it's Sanford's the one, the taller one, right?
Yeah, the fat one.
He walks in Sanford. It's like, hey, I know what that is. That's a plant. And he says, there's a picture of Bob Marley on the wall. He goes, that's a cool picture of Jesus. But where's his flamethrower?
So have you the first episode. So have you decided what you want to do when you go to college? Huh? Come on, you know I want to be a rapper. You hear my fat beats? Biatch. Just remember, in the world of Hollywood or whatever, for everyone that makes it, 5,000 don't.
So welcome back, buddy. It's been a couple weeks.
Hey, I'm glad we're both back because you decided to dance with the devil twice.
That's right. I got COVID twice.
I got deported from one country to another.
Yeah, your house semi-burnt down.
Yeah, well, it
didn't really burn down, but
it actually caught fire. There was a fire.
Structural firal issues.
There might have been a temperature, an elevated temperature situation.
Yeah. Back in, what was it from? It was... You didn't pour it hard.
That was so delayed. Did you hear that?
You pissed it off.
Ghostbusters 2. Everything's bubbling.
Yeah. You worthless piece of slime.
Yeah.
You're nothing but an unstable short chain molecule.
So fucking stupid. So great. Did you see that TikTok I sent you of the Ghostbusters car?
Yes. I
under the hood it had fucking
I just know it had Zool.
Zool and Igor. No,
Igor. Igor. It was pronounced Igor.
No, what's his name?
So it was the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper.
No. From the second movie.
Vigo?
Yes.
Yeah, the Carpathian.
Vigo the Carpathian.
Right. Yeah. How the... Oh, because bubbling up, yeah. Yeah, anyway, so I had COVID the second time.
My house almost burned down, so that was fun.
Yeah, your house got a little fiery, flamey.
It did. It was a flamer. And this show is canceled. Have a nice day, folks.
All right, that's good.
All right, record time.
All right, so we were one show away from 60.
I know, dude. We're up there. That's fucking badass.
Yeah, so your house burned down. You transitioned to a new house, and I got COVID. My beard transitioned to decide to identify it as a stash, and then it made the full transition.
I'm definitely picking up To Catch a Predator vibe from you right now.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. I got it into the band. That's why I'm here tonight.
That's right. I mean, that's how we got him here.
So I could pet his puppy or his poopy. Would you like to pet my poopy?
What the? Oh, that was Beef.
Beef is brought into America.
Yeah. Oh. Speaking of transition, the trans swimmer. I wanted to start off with that, which is...
Wow, you mean the one that placed like in the bottom of the men's and then competed as a woman?
400 or 500 or 450 or 60 something or other. I think it was 460 something. Somewhere around in there.
Yeah,
and then,
he didn't... Sorry.
And then...
This person did not score too well in the gender category that they were born to. So they became a trans woman and won.
Got an analogy. I thought of this before you got here and made me laugh. I'm going to piss some third wave feminists off, but it's like he competed with men and, we'll play this on normal difficulty. Fuck, I'm getting my ass kicked. Let's just move the slider over to easy.
Asian difficulty.
I win! First place! Step on Brent. If you know, you know.
I will make you see Jesus. Emotional dance. Oh my God. But yeah, that's fucked up, dude. And
the
we
500,
this.
The 500, yeah. Well, I mean, not us uniquely, but
everybody.
Yeah.
Anybody, because like I said before, and I'm sorry, this may piss off some people, but I don't care. This is my opinion. It's not fact. I feel the way this gender identity disorder, gender identification, whatever it may be, there's a faulty wire in the wiring harness in the brain. I'm sorry. So now
it's either that or it's just, if it's not the individual,
man,
it's just the culture we're in now. Like everything's acceptable. Christ, how many times do we bring up pedophiles? Because there was a fucking movement, or attempting to be a movement to make that okay.
I feel like a woman. Shania Twain. Actually, not a bad country song.
Great, there goes him.
Let's get this train back on the tracks. We got a lot to make up for, man.
I didn't want to. There's so much shit that's happened the last couple of weeks. I was like, I'm only gonna either things that made me kind of
chuckle.
Yeah, chuckle, or we're kind of like eyebrow raising.
See, something did arise.
Yeah, that's right.
He has risen.
I want, yeah, in ranks, and well,
yeah.
I guess according to Insider.com, half of air quotes her teammates were very much against.
Of course they were. Put it to you this way, for all you gaming fans of ours out there, that'd be like cheesing in a video game, or cheating like the 1,000-yard shot trophy from Warhawk.
Oh, I still feel bad about that. We'll get to that later.
You should feel bad. You should feel dirty.
I do. And it's stupid. But
till today, I'm like, I found a way to get the trophy.
Yeah.
Boom, problem solved.
It's like the one. That is literally the one trophy. The one accomplishment. That I just.
We cheesed it. We didn't cheat. We cheesed.
Whatever. I got a whole bunch of other ones like Lone Wolf and all that. Anyway, that's later conversation.
All right.
I got all that shit the real way, the right way, which is, in my opinion, probably fucking harder. But anyway.
Yeah, I bet it's harder.
Yeah. So we got men, women.
Yeah.
Men winning in women's sports now, and it's okay because our culture says it's okay. So there's that, I guess.
Well, sad but true. I don't accept it as my culture, but as in a general like census of things, it's our culture. The culture we are in now, it's acceptable.
And I don't hear... Go ahead.
Sorry. Where does it stop now? Now that it's actually started, where does it stop?
This started like 10 years ago or so. It really kind of like the whole...
Do you have nail clippers?
I
have a splinter.
not on me, no.
It's really bothering me when I'm trying to drink the soda.
Oh my God. What the hell, dude?
Bring on the kidney stones. I've already been through one. I could be through more.
But I have a splinter. And not the rat.
Merely a flesh wound.
Yeah, this is like 10 years ago. This whole thing really started.
Now that it's
but like really in the last like 3-4 years, it's just a tidal wave of identify as insert whatever blank. You have to accept it, and it just every day or week, whatever. You think it can't get any crazier. There's no way it can get fucking crazier, and then it does.
Well, check this out. I'm only laughing because Daniel Tosh, Tosh.0, great show. Shout out to my man, because we're besties. He had an episode where he brought onto the show a transgender high school athlete. She was becoming a he, but because she didn't have the proper reassignment surgery, now she was already into like the medicine point of it. She was taking like the testosterone boosters or whatever they are. She was taking the medication.
It was a girl that was transitioning to a guy?
Yes.
All right. So they're taking estrogen blockers and
whatever the regime.
The same thing that like bodybuilders are taking.
Whatever the regime may be. The school, because this is one that I will actually respect his pronoun. The reason being,
Blair White, I know that's one.
He insisted on competing with the men, the boys, the males. The schools and all the opposing schools that they wrestled against would not let him.
See, that's weird because we have females on wrestling teams.
But it gets better. You watch the video, the bit of the episode where Tosh.0, Daniel Tosh is showing like some of the footage from the wrestling matches from the high school events. The crowd, like, he is winning. He's beating girls. Mm-hmm. And the crowd's booing.
Right.
And he's like, it's, I want to compete with the men, with the males. They won't let me. So I'm transitioning. I can't get the surgery yet, et cetera, et cetera. There was some more detail into it, but he wanted to transition and compete with what he was becoming.
You know what's fucked up about the whole thing is you can't even say, all right, whatever. If men want to compete against the women, fine. Then we can have women compete against men. But the fact is that's not going to make any fucking difference. It's still going to be unfair only in one direction. Because again, like it or not, men and women are built fucking different. Like men have a bigger bone structure. Their muscle fibers are bigger. They're stronger. It's just a fact. Are there exceptions either direction? Of course there are.
I am just fighting so many jokes.
But the fact is, jokes or not, the fact is men are built different than women.
Well, it all comes down to we pee standing up, so we win.
So
it's a joke, people. It's a joke. No, but
no, that's factual information.
The fucked up. Well, no, they have the lady funnel, whatever it's called.
I kid you remember that.
It looks, you literally, and you pee.
Wasn't like the commercial with some woman standing on a hillside or a mountaintop. It was like some glorified. I'm on a ledge hiking. I gotta piss. So she takes out this fucking oil funnel thing for a car.
Let me say,
and.
No, here's the best part though.
That was the start of the downfall. Is that fucking funnel? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, funnel. The best part of that episode when he's talking to the dude that's transitioning, he goes, so because he had his mammary glands removed, he goes, can I give you a titty twister? Like, is it considered sexual assault? He goes, I actually don't know how to answer that. He goes, I'm just not going to.
That's a whole nother question. So how does...
If a female transitions to a male, and they have the gender reassignment surgery, and they have the mastectomy, I think that's what it's called, where they remove the breast. I think it's a mastectomy. Yes. If I go up to a transgender male who's transitioned fully and give him a titty twister, am I sexually assaulting a female?
Well, if you want to get technical, yes, because that doesn't stop with gender. It's just kind of an unwritten rule with guys. You could do like dick slaps and ball ass tag. Grabs and everything. Yeah, all that shit. And like a guy would be like, fucking whatever. Or if you piss him off, they'll just turn around and slug you.
I straight up jumped over a dude at work the other day. Like he was bending over to tie his shoe, and this other dude decided to come up and give me a hug. And bro, he comes up and gives me a hug. I'm like, oh, all right, dude. He's like, oh, I missed you, Charlie. I'm like, all right, you got a little close. What's this fucker do? He finds his hand on my neck and goes, get the fuck out of here. I jumped.
What happened to you?
The whole break was like, what the fuck? I'm like, dudes, don't touch me. Don't. I will make.
Funny is this guy
hold on. Before you say that, because I know you're gonna say. The best part is, I'm literally in the brink. I'm like, fuck this. I don't care. Just so you all fucking know, I'll make all the jokes in the world. I'll suck dick. Like, oh, my butthole hurts from getting fucked. Whatever. I'll make all the jokes in the world.
Just don't touch me.
Just don't touch me.
I don't know what happened to you.
I got the bowl out of your hands, didn't I? You want it? No? Okay. Fuck you, assholes.
And then you're now, look at where you are now.
I'm considering myself very successful for what we've become.
It only took a shoulder rub.
Still fucking creeps me out. But I straight up, there was a dude bending over tying his shoes. I straight up vaulted over that fucker. Like, holy shit, Charlie, I didn't know you could jump that high.
Man, yeah, see, fucking, you should go for this female Olympics and everything for jumping.
Some bitches will kick my ass.
Whatever they are.
Some of those girls jump over me.
Biden dropping the New World Order thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't, of course, like QAnon conspiracy theorists are all over it.
Oh, hell yeah.
And, well, all right, hold on. Let me just read.
Wouldn't it be something if Biden was the actual fucking president, as shitty as things go, to finally open up the New World Order and commit it and complete it?
I say, no, we're going to go.
What the fuck?
We're going down a like, semi-rabbit hole here, but I've told people before, like, let's say this New World Order thing is for sure what conspiracy theorists have stated for the last 20 or so years, what it is. I've told people, you know, everyone's like, oh, Biden's dumb or he's not all there, this and that. You don't get to become president, even close to that spot, by being stupid.
No.
Like, there's no way. I mean, yeah, Biden had, 2 strokes or something like that, and he's got a plate in his head, or a couple plates in his head. I'm
sure.
And it's definitely affected his speech, because he's not as fluent as he was.
Under the pressure.
Yeah, someone under the pressure.
I'm sure he's been stroked a few times.
He definitely does not have the linguistic ability as he used to.
Wow. His cunnilingus skills suck.
But the man by far is not stupid. Just like George Bush Jr., like George W., he wasn't stupid. They saw he's a C student in, was it Harvard? I think it was Harvard. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's still fucking Harvard. It's like, he's still got to be at least somewhat. Sure, he partied his way through and he's on cocaine and whatever the fuck.
If I could get into Harvard, that'd be an accomplishment, let alone be a C student.
I drove by it once.
I drove by it a couple times.
And they said I failed and sent me away.
Yeah. I didn't even set foot. Before you do, you already failed. Fuck.
Right. Hey. Oops, I went backwards here. Yeah, so the QAnon and everyone is all over this New World Order thing.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it says conspiracy theorists jump on Biden saying there's a New World Order and insist that what they have been saying since the 90s is coming true. This I got from the Daily Wire. Let me go down to what was actually quoted. So the president said the world was at an inflection point amid Putin's attack, signaling that the shift, he said, occurs every 3 or 4 generations. As is quoted, as one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day. So now he's giving out secure information. That was... But we'll go on. 60 million people have died between 1900 and 1946. And since then, we've established a liberal world order. And that hadn't happened in a long while. And now it is time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there. And we've got to lead it. And we've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it. As soon as he said that, like MSN and CNN or whoever the hell went, all jumped on and be like, that's not what he meant. What he meant was,
Can God, they're doing an awful lot of talking
There is
rather than making sandwiches.
There is. It's 8:44. I don't want a sandwich. Can't. Carbs.
Well, let's give them black eyes. Shut them up.
They're
the men out there.
As far as the New World Order, that seems like, again, with his cognitive function, I don't know if that was a slip up or if that was just really poor choice of words, because whatever he's talking, every time something like this happens, you have to think there has to be a bunch of people either in the back that are rolling their eyes, be like, oh God, now we have to do all this fucking damage
Kill Whitey! No!
Yeah, basically.
That's what they're doing.
To that kind of level. Or...
almost literally.
This was brought up too, which I thought was like, oh, it's kind of interesting. What if, like, every time stuff like this comes out, they're just going and saying, well, we'll just lay it out there. That way, it'll be so crazy, people will be like, well, your idea, this conspiracy theorist idea of what the New World Order is, if they're just laying it out, there's no way it could be that. But then you look at some of the things that are just going on, like this pockets, say, of events throughout the last few years, especially, of currency. They're talking about one world currency. Yep. And more and more. About that. And, well, what's one? The Great Reset's huge. Which did you end up listening to that thing I sent you?
I started to, but
it's long. But like I said, it's the best thing you can. When it comes to the Great Reset, it's the most clearest in layman's terms explanation of what the whole thing is. And one thing they were talking about is crashing the economy or crashing the dollar, the worth of the dollar, and what's the best way to do. 80% of the cash that's in flow right now, like physical currency, was printed in the last 2 years.
Oh yeah.
We have stagflation like on the horizon. We have 8% inflation already, and what they're predicting is another 3% raise by April of this year, next month, in a few days now, which will raise it to 11%
in a week.
And they're raising. I mean, they've been raising minimum wage, but to astronomical heights in the last few years, which is just going to make people. It's just going to increase costs, which you're just going to have. Our cash is becoming less valuable. Did you know nickel? The price of nickel, the metal right now, is high enough to where a nickel is actually worth 10 cents. The value of the material of the nickel is worth more than the federal value.
The note of it.
Yeah.
The federal note of it.
We've gotten to the point where the nickel is worth more than the nickel coin itself.
I'll sell you a nickel for 10 cents.
But you can't do that.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't sell money.
But there's been a national coin shortage during this whole pandemic. That's the reason why. Because people are saving all their coins and everything. If you, as a business, I'd probably just normal go to the bank and say I'd like $100 in nickels. You probably can't get it. Just for that reason, right there. Just because they know. I mean, you like I said, you can't. It's illegal to destroy. Yeah, you can't do that.
Just don't get caught.
But, yeah, going back to the New World Order, that's one example. Just like crashing the dollar value.
I was just wondering, do we have audio?
Oh, it's on.
It's on.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Ahead of the game.
Head of the game. Head of the game. Gotcha.
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And so I've been pining. I was like, I got shit to talk about here in a minute.
Yeah, we do.
This is Paradise.ng. The Russian Ministry of Defense claims it has evidence of U.S.-funded bioweapons research labs in Ukraine. That they were constructing on their borders. And there was a numerous amount of plagues that they said, that Russia said now, that they're developing. Plague, SARS.
Oh, yeah. I did see that one. I did read a little bit into it, too. There was actually a map drawn up in comparison to the initial attacks, to where these bio labs were.
Yeah, but it didn't line up, didn't it?
Pretty close.
They had the attack places, and they said, "Oh, where they're attacking is actually around or bio labs or something." But to my understanding, that the map didn't actually line up. But there was like 3 or 5 areas that weren't attacked. So like the map you saw there was more areas attacked and that were actually attacked. So that kind of alluded to like there were targets that hadn't been hit yet.
Oh, yeah.
And now this was like fucking 2 weeks ago at this point. So I don't know what's transpired since then. But which I don't know about you, like this whole thing. Oh, we got a guest. This whole thing with all the invasion of Ukraine, it doesn't seem to be a clear cut a good guy and bad guy here. Now I say that, and there's going to be a group of people who'll be like, "Fucking Ukraine's being invaded. We got to send them more money." Which we send it. We're the most giving nation on the face of the planet. We're the only superpower.
And yet we're still in trillions of dollars in debt. Yeah,
we're the only superpower ever that has given more than we've taken in. Ever. It's the only superpower that has ever, because anytime, like, go on, anytime you've, the Greek Empire constantly waged war on everything, the Roman Empire, it constantly expanded, the British Empire was all over, the sun never sets in the British Empire, China, Mongol, USSR, Germany, always about expanding, taking. And then along comes America, which for a while we were isolationists and just kind of doing our own thing. And then, World War II, then NATO and everything gets formed. And now we're basically the world police. But with all that said, when shit hits the fan, what do? We either send troops over to, hey, calm the fuck down, or we just send them a bunch of fucking money. Like, how many billions of dollars have we already sent to Ukraine?
Aside from just money, we've also sent defenses.
Weapons, yeah.
Yeah.
We've sent weapons.
There was one video I remember watching, the redhead. That's all Biden.
Oh, it's Jen Psaki?
Yes.
Yeah, the speaker.
She, someone asked her in the audience, would you say these are defensive weapons? Would you say these are offensive weapons?
I'm very offended.
No, she goes, well, what do you mean? She goes, well, you're sending all these weapons over for defensive aid.
Right.
Yes, but they could be used defensively, correct? Well, we're sending them over for defense. Yes, but can they be used offensively? Like they can't just use these guns to go.
Yeah, it's not like the weapons know. It's like, this is offense. We shut down until it's defense.
So he asked her in like 4 or 5 different ways, and she wouldn't give an answer. So that's a yes, basically.
Right.
But here you are taking away, you're giving, we're trying to arm the citizens, the defenseless citizens or whatever, to be able to defend themselves.
I mean, like when we did with the Taliban?
Or you mean like the ones you're trying to disarm here in America?
Right.
You're taking away guns from people here who are trying to defend their lands.
Did you see, this is 2 weeks ago now, which fucking, and then I got COVID, so I couldn't even talk about it, but we ended up taking our own border patrol off our southern border and shipped them out for 30 days to the Ukraine borders to protect their borders. Yeah.
No, I did not know about that. No? Honestly, I did not know or hear anything about that.
That was,
of course, I wouldn't hear anything about that.
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah,
that was
23rd.
2 weeks ago today. Actually, I heard that because it was the day before I called in. It was we were getting snowfall that day, and I was outside shoveling, and I'm listening to the Tim Pool actually, and they were talking about it. I'm like, fucking what? Wait, so we don't have enough people on our own border to secure our border. And so the brilliant idea from our administration is like, we'll pull the people off our border and send them over to Ukraine because they need the help. It's like, what are we going to do about our border then? Granted, we're not getting bombs or anything.
Hey,
but
is anybody here? Don't stop me if it's okay to go through.
It's like the Walmart greeter on our border. Like, you can't go. What's the old guy from Simpsons all the time with the glasses? Hey.
Oh, God, I know who you're talking about, too.
I can't remember his name. That's who we got working on our border.
Excuse me, could you put on a mask? No? Okay. Excuse me, could you please not come into our country? No?
Oh.
Okay. Excuse me, can you please stop and stay on your own? No? Okay.
It's just,
hello, welcome to Walmart.
One guy just pushes him over.
Hey, hello, welcome to Walmart.
Just do your normal job. Check the bags.
But they're coming into America.
Every 10 or 15 people, pull one over and check his bag.
Check his receipt.
Yeah, where's your receipt? Just gives him a gas station receipt and walks by.
Your receipt. Okay. With the items you purchased? Oh, fucking Christ.
Yeah, so I thought that was...
That's
actually, I was fucking dumbfounded by that one.
I'm dumb.
I was like,
dude.
so...
I'm not,
yeah.
That's fucked up.
So let's pull people off our border and send them over to Ukraine because they're doing such a dandy job. That's not
we're not. Basically, would that be considered a form of sending troops?
We've already had well, I don't know. I mean, they've already said we've waged war on them because they were trying to sanction a no-fly zone, which doing that would shut down supply run, which an act of war is stopping supplies from going to whatever said nation.
Doesn't that fall under a violation of the Geneva Convention? You cannot landlock a state or airlock or whatever a country and deny its civilians.
That's what I mean. I think that's an act of war.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people are preaching right now. It's like, well, if you enforce a no-fly zone, that's an act of war.
Yeah.
America has just waged war on Russia. But we don't want to wage war on Russia. See, I think what they want is Russia to wage war on us, because then that makes America look like the good guy.
And then everybody in NATO has to defend us.
So that's why I think that
NATO has to come to our support. All the countries in NATO have to help us out. Because if we attack, they cannot condone that.
Right. Yeah.
It's what America right now is? In a bar.
It's a game of chess.
No. You know what America is right now? If the world was a bar, America's the guy. What, bro? Come on. Hit me first. Pussy. You won't hit me. Come on, you fucking bitch.
Standing behind the 5-foot girl.
Yeah. And then someone cracks.
5-foot girl's Ukraine.
Someone cracks. Oh, call the cops. He broke my jaw.
Oh, racial slurs. Oh. Yeah, so.
God bless America.
That's what it seems like. Anyway.
That's fucked up, though.
The New York Post is now finally admitting the Hunter Biden laptop story was true.
Hunter Biden's
laptop had information dealing with, I think it was banking transactions with businesses from Ukraine. That they had something in the laptop said they had X amount of money going to Hunter, and then
his son
cut a check. Cut a check for the big guy in reference to, everyone's assuming, in reference to Joe Biden. Now that's come out and be like, oh yeah, it seems to be true. The Trump and Russia, in regards to the Hunter Biden laptop story, one thing was always pushed was Russia collusion. And Trump, and it's like, well, Trump's rigging the election so he can win. He's in collusion with Russia. There's something that brought to my attention, though, with the whole Trump and Russia thing. It doesn't make sense. Trump colluding with Russia doesn't make any kind of sense on a financial scale, business, and national currency, national oil, anything. Russia needs to trade with us, like our oil, right? And they get money.
Yeah.
Trump wanted to shut down our dependency on Russian oil. That's why the Keystone Pipeline came in, that the shortcut, basically, for the Keystone Pipeline, which would make us dependent from ourselves. So we'd be self-reliant for our own oil. So if Russia was going to collude with Trump, or rather Trump was going to collude with Russia, that means the shutting down the Keystone Pipeline would have happened under Trump's regime, and he would have kept trade going on with Russia. That obviously didn't happen. Russia didn't make any moves while Trump was in office because I think everyone thought Trump was loose cannon, which he was. Then no one knew what the fuck he was going to do. And even Trump said while he was in office, if you make a move on, I don't know if it was Ukraine, but he told Putin, he said, if you make a move on, I'm going to bomb those golden churches of yours, with reference those big fucking, they're big buildings.
Yeah, with the gold domes.
Yeah. So he said he's going to bomb those. And then he said the same thing to Xi Jinping. He's like, you make a move on Taiwan, I'm going to flatten what the fuck ever, And probably 1%, and like 99% of what they said, they're probably like, he's not really, he's not really going to fucking do that. But then there's that 1%, like, but would he? And that 1%, that's enough for me. I don't really want a nuclear bomb dropped on us, and then just like start this whole thing. So they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So Trump colluding with Russia, like I said, doesn't make any sense. That would keep Trump in office. If Trump's still in office, we're not relying on Russian oil, and we're keeping our oil flow going to us from our own reserve. So where does Putin make out at all in that whole equation, keeping Trump in office? Putin needed Trump out of office. Because if Trump's out of office...
so why do you think this...
I mean, look, and what happened? Trump got out of office, Biden shut down Keystone Pipeline, renegotiated trade with Russian oil, and now... And now he's waging war. Well, that gave him finances, for one, to go wage war or invade Ukraine. And now we're in the situation we're in now.
So when you put it like that, basically, Biden was banging a chick, Russia, slipped it in her butt by accident, and then apologized for it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Trump was for fuel independence. Biden is not. Biden shuts down the Keystone Pipeline, affecting supply and demand. He shut it down because of Greta Thunberg. That little girl that's like, blah, 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 how dare you? And then fucking that little girl shuts down basically the entire fuel popularity line for half the world. Green energy, shuts it down for green energy. What's funny is they're so adamant about green energy, but none of them want nuclear power. And that's probably the cleanest fucking energy source we have. Because everyone's like, well, solar and wind.
Here's the thing. A lot of stuff I've learned about, it's funny that you're bringing up green energy. Like the windmills, the lithium-ion battery, rechargeable batteries, solar panels.
That's just it.
90% of those materials, though 90% of the byproducts of that research is non-recyclable.
Yeah, that's just it. Is when the idea of green energy is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Minus nuclear, because they don't want that, obviously. But everything else is fantastic. The problem with it is to store it, one, to make the batteries, which comes from a lot of third world countries where they harbor slave labor to do it.
Cobalt, 65% of the world's cobalt comes from the Congo.
All right.
Where men, women, and child are raped, murdered daily by their own people.
But don't tell them that.
Yeah.
That's American capitalism. Actually, the phones that we're using right now comes from, the batteries come from slave labor.
Yep.
But don't tell anybody.
Everybody's got to pay that $1,600 for the next phone.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, so, and then the batteries, like you said, most of the shit in it is you can't reuse it.
No, you can't.
At least there's no way up to this point to find a reuse for it. So now you're saying, we're not giving off as many carbon emissions. But now we have all this extra shit that we're just throwing in dumps. What do you do with it?
You genetically engineer parasites to eat plastic.
That was a reference for everybody listening and watching. Before we got here, I just happened to see on Google's news page that there was a parasite that now they've genetically engineered to devour plastics. So now we're developing parasites to eat plastics and get rid of that. So they don't know what else to do. It's like, well, listen, we saw Futurama and they shot garbage into space. That's just going to come back on us in X amount of years.
1,000 years.
Yeah, so let's not do that. Parasites. Yeah, so green isn't as clean as perceived. Batteries. Transport too, because when you make all this shit, all these batteries, all these the windmills, the generators, all this shit, it has to get from A to B. Oh, yeah. So you're still using trucks, trains, ships.
Trains, and automobiles.
Yeah. You're still using fossil fuel to get it from A to B. So, and then, like I said, it only... Also, that's all dependent on climate.
Yeah.
So if you put windmills in California, which a lot of times... That's another thing, which I just learned. When they have those windmills... If they're running constantly, the batteries can only hold so much power. So if they're not using enough power as they're running, they actually have to shut them down. That's why a lot of times you'll see windmills not moving, even on windy days, because they can't hold so much power. And they can only hold it for so long. So it's this really perishable amount of power for X amount of time. So the idea is there, but we're just nowhere near.
Yeah.
And solar energy is another one. Where I think upstate New York, we get 63% of our year actually has sunlight, which is fine. But then you go up to Oregon, where 60% of the time it's raining.
Or you go up to Alaska, where you have a couple months out of the year.
Yeah, what do you do there? Well, we have snow-powered energy.
Ice-powered.
Yeah, so now we become reliant on foreign oil.
Yep.
But
which always seems to be a Democratic trait. You notice that?
Foreign oil?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
weird.
Well, that's not entirely true. I mean, with George W. and the whole after 9/11, we went over. It's like
different story.
Iran, Iraq. It's like we know where we're going, and then we just suddenly shifted. It's like we have to go to war against Iraq
and Iran.
But what about Afghanistan? What about Iran?
Iraq.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know. Go green. Yeah, good concept. Piss poor execution right now. Dead serious.
But again, nuclear power. It's clean,
which is actually
it's efficient,
and it's self-sustaining.
And it's not like in the 60s and 70s where it was like that. I mean, it's still dangerous, but nowhere near. I mean, there's such efficient ways to deal with it all now.
Well,
except when you're in, what is that? Fukushima? Not Fukushima. Yeah, is it Fukushima?
I think so.
Yeah, where they have constant earthquakes and but they keep building nuclear power plants over fault lines. Like, what the hell do you think's going to happen?
Well, you remember the glow girls, they called them, I believe, in the 40s and the 50s during the World War II. Girls were painting. They were using radioactive
uranium. I think it was uranium.
Paint the hands on the clocks of the watches of the soldiers.
Yeah.
And what they would do is, with their brush, paint the hands.
I did, yeah. I'm aware, but
that nuclear kind of technology, radioactive byproducts. Yeah, that was also 70 fucking years ago.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they.
Pretty sure we've gotten better at the process.
Much better.
Fuck, I can hold my balls in front of a microwave and run it without getting cancer now.
Yeah. Now you just get kidney stones.
That's from too much soda, which I've cut back on. One a day.
Here's a kind of a hard transition here. Blackrock. You know who Blackrock is? Financial investment institution. They've been buying up a lot of single-family homes. And land.
Yeah, I have heard of that. About the I haven't read into the details, but I did hear about. I forgot the name of them was Blackrock.
It's a huge. It's the biggest financial investment management company in the world. But they've been buying a lot of single-family homes and land up, and a lot of people are like looking at that and seeing that as falling in line with the whole Klaus Schwab World Economic Forum, Great Reset. And the thing that was said is like, in the future, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. So there's a lot of people that's saying, well, they're doing this because you will own nothing. You won't have your own car. You won't have your own house. Everything will just be pretty much, you'll rent everything. Streaming service kind of deal. This is really layman's terms, but think of a streaming service. You have Netflix and you have X amount of movies on it, and you don't actually own the movies.
No.
So they can take them off if they want.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. So I'm still an advocate of buying movies and whatnot. So I have so many of them out there. I still do.
Same here. Either digitally or hard copy wise.
You know what I thought about too is when we buy and this is just further push. This is a side note. It's further push me toward the PC route. With Sony and Microsoft, you buy the console, but you own the console, but you don't own the software. So that's why you can't mod, you can't do any of this shit. And if they catch it, they just ban it outright.
Oh, yeah.
Because they own fucking everything on the system and the games that go to boot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and whether you see PC owners, they can do all that shit. Now, not online, obviously, in PvP or anything like that.
Well, hold on. What you're saying, really quick, even in a PC standpoint, though, when you buy that graphics card, when you buy that motherboard, when you buy that cooling system, when you buy the extra RAM hard drives,
right?
You bought them, but you don't own the software in them, which is why you can't go into them and change the program.
No, but what I'm saying is it's not Sony based, or it's not Microsoft. Well, I guess technically it could be Microsoft based, depending on the computer you're using. But let's say you want to update all your shit in Sony, you can't because it's for that system. You have to go through Sony unless you're a computer engineer and you can just create something. But with PC, you can just upgrade all your shit piece by piece. So that's a complete side note. Because it's way off topic right there.
Yeah,
but,
fuck it.
Yeah, so own nothing, be happy. Like they're creating monopoly. Big business is basically creating monopoly on everything around us. They're creating monopolies and what we own, housing wise. They're creating a monopoly on car. Well, this is really rough and it's kind of a stretch, but like Uber and all this kind of shit.
Oh, well, check this shit out, dude.
What?
I took this picture at work today. You're gonna laugh, real quick. It's for a company in an area where I drive. That's a car they're going to give to every single one of their office members.
Isn't that weird?
They will be
just for anybody that's listening. It's what kind of car is it? It's a white. It looks like a Nissan
Toyota
or something.
Prius.
Is it a Prius? All right. It's a white car, all uniform, the exact same car. Nothing. Yeah,
side by side.
Nothing that stands out. It reminds me of the Men in Black except white.
Racist. But that's just it. So right there, as long as you work for that company, they'll give you a car. If you work in the office, or if you're in upper management, you get a car. You can do that whatever you want with that car.
That's weird.
But you don't own that car, and you better use it also to make sure to get you to and from work. But then you can do whatever else you want with it. And when they want it, they'll just take it back.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's a small example, but the whole own nothing, be happy thing. Yeah, so it's like they're creating monopoly. And I had to write this down, the whole monopoly idea. They're creating monopoly on everything, even car repair, evidently. Because...
all the insurance companies that you can now have?
Oh. There was a public service announcement on small auto repairs from Ford, GM, Nissan, etc., stating, predators use your info from these mechanics, as auto mechanics, or the mechanics themselves will do this, and they could rape you. It says auto industry TV ads claim right to repair benefits sexual predators.
So mom and pop garages now are going to rape you.
According to this ad or this thing, this is from /.org.
Oh, there goes my dreams of owning my own garage.
This is a long article, but I'll just kind of hit notes here. A camera. This is talking about the commercial for anyone that's listening who doesn't know. Is a camera slowly stalks a woman walking to her SUV in a desolate, empty parking garage. Quote: if question 1 passes in Massachusetts, anyone could access the most personal data stored in your vehicle, a narrator says. Domestic violence advocates say a sexual predator could use the data to stalk their victims, pinpoint exactly where you are, whether you are alone. The woman's keys jingle as she approaches her car. The camera gets closer. The woman whoops her head around. The stalker has found her. The screen flashes to black. Vote no on 1, the narrator says.
Story was getting a little
They're
hot.
trying to take business away from small mom and pop shop auto mechanics.
Oh yeah,
like there's no way that's what that is. And of course they're targeting women and older people. Like, well, man, I don't want an old guy doesn't want to get raped by a 20-year-old male, probably ethnic, probably of a minority.
What about was it in our group chat? There was a TikTok somebody sent about a Russian woman kidnapping a guy and force-feeding him Viagra for days and having sex with him.
I think it was ours. I don't remember who said it.
Yeah.
I didn't send it, but I can't even remember if I don't think I sent it, but I do remember that.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah,
that was probably also a couple weeks ago. But,
wow.
There's a side note with this whole like businesses and kind of like marketing, this manipulation over everybody. Businesses have developed a consumer base that defend their products as if they had stock or IP invested into them. Going with Apple, all sorts of makes and models of vehicles. How many times have you seen people talk about Ford, talk about Jeep, talk about Chevy, and be like, "Oh, Ford's what's the thing you said about it? Ford
fixed or repaired daily.
Yeah,
fucker only rolls downhill. Yeah. Driver runs on foot."
How many times you hear people say shit like this? And listen, I'm an advocate of all fucking vehicles are a horrible investment unless you're getting some truck to haul, plow, or some landscaping or something where you're actually getting a return. Mm-hmm. Bye. They're all garbage because they do nothing but cost you money. Either fuel or just repairs after usually 5 years if you get it off the lot. And that's usually when everything starts to go on it, regardless of how much or little you run it.
Oh, yeah.
Video game companies, it's another huge one. People, what's the biggest thing is PlayStation or Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
And the spec difference is so minute that it barely counts as difference.
There's little to no difference between the systems anymore.
No, there's not. But if you ask a fanboy of either side, they'll be like, Xbox sucks because you can't even say the bit war anymore. Nobody gives a shit about bits. That was a Sega, Super Nintendo, or whatever. And that was a thing that no kid understood except it was the graphics. But that didn't mean shit for the gameplay. But yeah, now the fanboys or the fan base for either system, even PC players look at themselves as gods in the gaming community.
Oh yeah,
it's the weirdest fucking thing. Vehicles,
like you can't game as good as a PC gamer.
Yeah, Apple. And how many we fucking played Brawlhalla on PlayStation? We faced PC players or Xbox players, and we beat them. It's like it doesn't fucking matter.
Oh yeah, no.
If your system doesn't make you good, you're either good or you're not. But don't tell anybody that because they can't accept that. It's like
well, for us, when we suck, it's not our fault. It's the game programming and the controller equipment.
It's the left D-pad on your controller you gave me. But I told you, it's not me because it did it in the other game too. And
I never had a problem.
Oh, you know what's something too? It does when I use the two analog sticks. Another side note: we're all over the place here, but when I'm ADS on Elden Ring with the bow and arrow, if I, for whatever reason, on the left stick, I'm pressing left, and I'll go out of aiming. My character will just suddenly slowly start walking to the left without me touching it. After, if I just press it while I'm ADS, then I go off of it and then take aim down sights off, I'll just start walking away. like
quit. See you later.
Where are you going?
I don't feel like playing it. Yeah, but you are the video game. It doesn't matter.
No, not anymore.
Better.
Yeah, Apple, another one. Apple and
Android.
Any Android operating system. That's a huge one.
I mean, you barely hear about Google's been coming back. You hear Google a little bit now.
I've heard phone-wise, there was a Windows Phone too.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be like very much. It was there. I heard some people talking about it, and I was interested actually. I was like, okay, there's not as many restrictions they were saying and everything on it, and then it just kind of went by the wayside, just disappeared. Jesse Smollett walks free after less than a week in prison.
Yep,
I think it was like 5 days.
Because did you hear about what he said in the courtroom? Anything that happens to me, it is not suicidal.
Well, because he a suicidal thing he'd say.
Oh no. I read the one article I read was he was trying to portray it that they were even because he's still
because of the guards were going to kill him or some shit like that. Yeah, I did hear that. It's like I'm in prison because I'm black.
Because he's trying to maintain.
Maybe it's a paraphrase.
He's trying to maintain his innocence still.
Yeah,
it happened.
And there's people that still fucking believe he's innocent. The evidence was just ungodly against him. How do you? I don't understand.
The people that he paid to do it admitted.
He wrote it in a check. He left a paper trail. I didn't do it. Yes, you did. It's right there. It's your writing.
No, I didn't. He did it. No, I didn't. He paid us for it. No, I didn't. There's the check with his name on it. No, I didn't.
That's not me.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah, I guess the appeals or he was going to appeal a sentence, but the appeal process wouldn't complete until after his 150-day sentence. It was 150 days. It was 5 months, roughly, give or take. So because it wouldn't complete until after a sentence, they fucking let him walk. Mind you, he got 150 days for falsifying racial attack and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy that walked into the White House during the January 6th.
Oh, yeah.
He got a year and he's in solitary confinement.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right. Here's some crazier shit.
What?
MilitaryTimes.com says the Pentagon scientists are making talking plasma laser balls.
I'm so gonna Kamehameha on someone. Let me sign up for the army, please. I just want to I want to Hadouken somebody or Kamehameha on somebody. What was the soldier in Street Fighter? Guile.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Sonic Wave or whatever he did.
Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boom. Yeah. Sonic Boom. I want to do that. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, so militarytimes.com, they're making plasma balls. Pentagon scientists are making talking plasma laser balls for use as non-lethal weapons. Instead of beaming, flashing light, or shouting over a loudspeaker to keep people away from sensitive areas, new technology being developed could allow troops to fire a laser that could perform a plasma ball that talks to potential intruders. So now we're getting into the area of Star Trek and Star Wars here. Or maybe whatever fucking... This is more Futurama shit.
Set phasers to stun.
Set phasers to conversate. The laser-induced plasma effect program is part of the Joint Non-Lethal Program's Directate program to find ways to deter, stun, basically stop adversaries short of killing them.
Hold on. Let me ask you something. Right. There's so much logic behind the need for talking laser plasma balls, but not Space Force.
I mean, want a lightsaber.
That's all.
They're getting closer.
They've already made one.
Well, they've sort of made them.
A plasma saber.
Sort of, yeah. And it's getting there.
I think
it's attached to the box like the original lightsabers from Star Wars lore. Yeah. When I saw that, it was about a year ago. I saw that. And I'm like, wow, they're getting close. We're only, according to Star Wars, about 1,000 years away from an actual lightsaber.
Well, no, we're 1,000 years advanced. Because if you remember, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
But was it a long time in reference, like, what was... Now, is that relative to human lifespan, or is that relative to the universe? What's the long time? Was it 80 years?
History of the Earth,
was it 2,000 years? Was it 1,000,000 years? What was the long time? Anyway, use of directed energy or lasers includes heating up a target's skin to extremely uncomfortable levels without burning them. I'm so itchy. I'm out of here. All right, you win.
God, I'm sweating already.
Blasting confusing noises or giving voice commands such as stop or we will be forced to fire upon you. It can pass through glass into buildings, but not yet penetrate other solid barriers. So it is in initial stages. So they're developing it. They're talking laser balls.
They're developing
space balls.
They're developing penetrating laser balls.
Yeah.
I like where this is going.
You know where come on. This is like right power source setup. A device could be mounted to a small vehicle and make a mobile crowd control or another tool for vehicle patrols to keep people away from convoys. The convoys we got to come up with. If we only had a ball laser or something like.
Have your way with me.
Where you going?
Hey, where you going? You didn't hit me with the laser beam. What the fuck?
You know, I kind of it's bizarre and kind of nonsensical, but at the same time, you gotta love scientists. Like when scientists get bored, they're like, "Listen, I had this idea like 30 years ago."
No, when scientists get bored, what happens is, so I want to make a cat that shoots lasers out of its tail.
I want to make a cat that shoots lasers out of its balls. Laser balls? Bet you we can do that.
No, dude, you guys are forgetting the cat idea. Oh,
yeah, I like cats too. Let's shoot a cat with the laser ball.
What were we talking about again?
Researchers, this is into the next topic here, just kind of whatever. Researchers turn mosquitoes into flying vaccinators.
Yes, they are.
Did you look into that?
I did.
This is from science.org.
Yep, I was going to quote that, but you beat me to the punch.
Right.
They are genetically engineering them to be able to deliver micro doses of the vaccine.
Of a vaccine.
A vaccine.
Here's a study to file under unworkable but very cool. A group of Japanese researchers had developed a mosquito that spreads vaccine instead of disease. Even the researchers admit, however, that regulatory and ethical problems will prevent the critters from ever taking wing, at least for the delivery of human vaccines. Scientists have dreamed up various ways to tinker with insects' DNA to fight disease. One option is to create strains of mosquitoes that are resistant to infections with parasites or viruses, or that are unable to pass the pathogens on to humans. These would somehow have to replace the natural disease-bearing mosquitoes, which is a tall order. Talk about replacing mosquitoes. I guess they're genetically altering male mosquitoes to... when they mate with females, I think it's male mosquitoes. When they mate with females, it actually kills off the eggs in females to basically annihilate. They're trying to annihilate mosquitoes altogether. I think it was in 2 states, like Florida and Louisiana. Which, now, I don't know about you, but I understand everyone. Nobody likes mosquitoes. Everyone hates them because you're either allergic to them or they're just fucking annoying.
First and foremost, everybody's allergic to mosquitoes. You get bit by a mosquito, you get a little swollen bum. That's an allergic reaction.
Yeah, some worse than others.
But here's my problem with eliminating a species.
Circle of life.
A, we're not supposed to.
Yeah, the ecosystem.
B, nature, and I don't care if you want to believe in creationism or evolutionism, whatever you take, evolutionary theory, take your pick. I fully support the evolutionary theory. Things have evolved for a reason into what they are.
Right. And I think taking something out, and this goes for actually introducing things back in too. Like when we're trying to, this species is endangered. Like there's fucking endangered species all the time, but way before humans. Oh yeah. You can't just play Superman and try to save everything. There's if they're gonna die out, they're gonna die out. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. And then they're fine. Like the woolly mammoth, like we're gonna clone the woolly mammoth and a bunch of other fucking prehistoric vehicles, prehistoric vessels to fucking come back. Maybe they're gonna bring back the Model T. It went extinct for a reason.
The Model T.
Ford.
Oh,
the vehicle, prehistoric vehicle. But
Saber-tooth tiger. Look, kids, it's a cat.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to introduce new things, or the idea to introduce these things back in. I'm like,
Didn't we learn our mistake in the first Jurassic Park movie?
Yeah, didn't we see Jurassic Park? I was just going to say, we saw Jurassic Park.
Nature has a way.
This is a bad idea.
Fucking Steven Spielberg. No, stop it. No.
It's fucked up. But anyway, they want to take mosquitoes out. Like, I don't. This seems like that has like major repercussions if you do that. Like, what if they do that and then suddenly we can't grow corn somewhere down the line?
Speaking of corn, I saw a funny TikTok.
Wait, like the band or the vegetable?
No, the vegetable.
All right.
Do you know how like when you eat corn, no matter how hard you chew it, and then you're pretty sure you've eaten every kernel and squished it all, you still see whole kernels in your poop?
It's because it's
GMO
conspiracy theory.
It's because
they're actually they're genetically modified, but they're also
no. It's a GMO, much like the cells in your colon. There's properties that they on a molecular level they're very similar to the healing cells, the rejuvenating cells, whatever you want to call them, in our body.
Right.
So as they're going through your colon, it rebuilds the corn.
Now, was this tested, or was this some like Stony Mc whatever
TikTok
on TikTok?
video?
It was just like, hey, I got an idea.
No, it was a TikTok video. And it was about what's the most useless fact you could ever learn, and then realize, wow, that's crazy, until you find out it's actually true. And it was that. I'm like, so basically what you're saying is corn is the most ultimate recyclable vegetable.
So you just clean it off.
Just rinse it and boil it.
Jeez.
Indian corn. It's brown.
Did you hear about the Japanese killing stone?
No.
The Japanese killing stone, rumored to house an evil spirit, has split in half on its own. This is from Snopes.com. They fact-check it. They said, well, we can't speak of... Of course, it was fucking fact-checked. They said, we can't speak of the supposed evil spirit, but the Killing Stone truly did split in two in March of 2022. March 2022, photographs circulating on social media on a famous rock in Japan called...
the Japanese Killing Stone?
Yeah. Seshio Seki, or the Killing Stone, that supposedly housed an evil spirit. This picture was often attached to a caption claiming that it was recently found split in half, and that the spirit named Tamomo no Mae, or Nine-Tailed Fox, had been released. As for the facts,
Naruto.
While we have nothing too concerning about the existence of evil spirit, which is, after all, a mythical entity, we can say that the Killing Stone truly split in half in March. According to Japanese mythology, the spirit of a nine-tailed fox who walked the earth in the body of whoever, Tamomo Naruto, yeah, a beautiful woman who attempted to kill the Emperor Toba in the 1100s. It's an object in Japanese mythology. It is said that the stone kills anyone who comes in contact with it. The stone is believed to be the transformed corpse of this beautiful woman who was exposed to a kind nine-tailed fox working for an evil daimyo, plotting to kill the Japanese emperor. Yeah. Did you see it?
I'm looking at the article right now.
Yeah. A lot of people
others speculated that the demon spirit of Tamomo no Mae had been resurrected after almost 1,000 years. Local media said cracks had appeared in the rock several years ago, possibly allowing rainwater to seep inside and weaken its structure. Pussy demon. It got a little wet and spread itself open. Typical horror rock.
It's a lot of people were commenting. It's like, that's it, the end of the world. Demons unleashed. It just broke itself open. We're done.
Jesus.
I don't even think you have to believe in evil spirits like that.
It's the dark.
Take a look at the world. What's going on?
It's the Dark Devourer from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Look what you did.
Look at giant.
Just play dead.
It worked.
Like the fake Mandarin. Yeah.
It worked for Morris.
Yeah. Just play dead and you'll be fine.
It's fucking.
That's all we got to do.
It's like pig chicken with no face or something like that.
Weird. It was a fucking koala with two asses
and two wings,
and one of them had like ears.
It was cool. I wanted one. You didn't have to worry about feeding it or watering it. He has no mouth.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, so we got demons walking around.
Yep.
No demon souls.
Naruto Shippuden. Who'd have known? That's all real.
Speaking of demon souls, Elden Ring, who's made by the creators
Bandai Namco.
I wanted to cut. I'm gonna do an actual full episode Friday.
Oh yeah, I'm down with that. If
you want to do it, Rich is coming over.
Yeah,
so the whole episodes were just kind of a spoiler or teaser rather. The whole episode is going to be I'll give you kind of the rundown of what you need to bring, which isn't much, but it's going to be a rundown of pretty much everything Elden Ring, because just kind of a quick run here. I haven't been involved in any RPG game in Majora's Mask. So 20, 21 years. I think it was 99, 2000, somewhere around there.
Nintendo 64, yeah.
Yeah, it was 99 or 2000. So
yeah, at
least 21, 22 years. And for whatever, you try to get me in a few games like Dauntless, which I just
no, hold on. There's a difference between like Dauntless and these were just games that I enjoyed playing them, but it was something you could kind of grind and just kind of step up little bit by little bit. It wasn't
like that. Like
the biggest ones I always tried to get you into were like the strictly RPG style based, like for the classic example, most classic example, Final Fantasy.
Yeah, just not my deal.
Which is fine, understandable. That's why, like I said, when you first told me like this game stuck out, I'm like, fuck yeah. The
closest thing to Final Fantasy would have been Secret of Mana, because that was that thing, like turn-based attacks. and it was fantastic. But yeah, the last RPG really adventure game that I got locked into was Zelda, and this, before we even talked about it, was all over social media.
Oh yeah,
Elden Ring. I was talking about Elden Ring. I was like, oh, it's a Souls game. I'm like, and I even still, I have no desire to play any of the Souls franchise, but for whatever reason,
April 27th, 2000, The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask was released.
All right, 2000. Yeah, okay. So it's been almost 22 years exactly.
Oh wow,
that's the last RPG I played.
Majora's Mask was old enough to drink last year.
So this game started to just pop up all over my social media, which my social media, because of this podcast, is full of a lot of political shit, and it's full of some nonsensical stuff, some wrestling stuff. Every now and again when I'm looking for stuff, when I'm talking to Rich. So it had no business being on my social media.
But it was popping.
Pay advertising, whatever. It was all over TikTok, YouTube. Not really on Facebook. I didn't really
Twitch,
see it on Facebook,
Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. I'd seen it a lot of places. Google, just opening your normal Google browser on your phone. It's got a few advertisements like for stories underneath it.
Right.
I had seen it popping up there a bunch.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it just caught my eye. I'm like, well, what is this? So I just started to look a little more and more, and I tried watching the trailer. I'm like, I have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Their trailer is not a sell on the average gamer at all. Like, their trailer is meant for Souls fans. Definitely not meant for the average gamer. So I watched the trailer, I'm like, that's like, they just threw like a novel worth of story at me, and I have no fucking idea what they're talking about. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna look at was it Namco Bandai? That's a distributor, but who the fuck is Souls developer?
Demon Souls?
Any of them. Dark Souls, Demon Souls, any of them. So I can't remember who the developer is, but so I had to go
From Software Inc.
Yeah, all right, yeah. So
and it's Bandai Namco, not Namco Bandai.
Whatever.
Sorry.
Bandai comes anyway. So I had to go and just kind of look up my own, like, do my own research on the game. And I don't want to look at playthroughs or anything like that. I just wanted an idea of what it was. So I looked at like non-spoiler beginner's guide and this and that. So I was watching them or listening to them at work. And I'm like, all right, well, I put it in my cart, on PlayStation. I let it sit there for a couple of days, and then finally I was like,
we talked about it the day you bought it.
Yeah, that was that night we were playing Brawlhalla, and I'm like, maybe I'll think about it. And you're like, oh, let me know if I get it. And literally it was like 2 minutes after I looked at one other video on my phone, and I was sitting there in the chair, and I'm like, fuck it. And so I bought it and downloaded it that night.
Hold the trigger.
And then it sat there for probably 4 days.
It's getting so big.
I sat there for probably 4 days before I actually tried to play it, and I got COVID. So I'm like, well, better wait. I'd sit for 4 or 5. It was like 5 days. I was home, so I was like, well, better nothing else to do. So
spend $60. You might as well enjoy it.
Yeah. So I just started playing it. Well, that was a fucking mistake.
How many hours are you at now, buddy?
That's disgusting.
How many? Just out of curiosity.
122.
You broke 100. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, I've broken 100 in other games.
I know, it's a joke.
But
in an RPG, this is the first in a long time.
Well, without going too far into it, because I'll go really far into it Friday.
2 days from now.
I'm always been a PvP player. I mean, since the 64 and I really got out of RPGs, I really went to online.
Basically, the birth of online gaming is
competitive play, and that's where I was like, to me, it was how good are you against other people? Because the thing with computer is, even if the computer's really hard, computer only has a set amount of what it's going to do. Mm-hmm. And even in Fire Pro Wrestling, which that's been raved about, their AI system was adaptive to how you were playing. But even that, after a while, you can kind of pick up on what they're doing. But that game has a hard, the difficulty in that too. I can play up to level 4 or 5, and then suddenly 6 is they dial it up to 100 in difficulty, and you can't fucking figure out.
1 to 10. We'll go with 57. What the fuck?
Yeah. But the computer always has a method where players are adaptive. I mean, unless they're new or something at the game, like a player can adapt to what they're doing, or they become so random you can't fucking figure out what they're doing because they're just doing random shit. I think those are the hardest players, the ones that are good but they don't know they're good and they're not true, like they don't understand whatever game they're playing. Brawlhalla is a perfect example. Like Brawlhalla players are specific to certain fight styles and play styles. Mine is weapon throws and top-down fighting, and facing players that know how to counter that makes it hard for me. So you have to adjust. Now,
I was always an aggressive player. I was always at attack first, which for me, of all people, especially for like the fighting style games, which I loved for the most part for a long time. RPGs always been my favorite, but fighting style games was like a big niche for me. Going into Brawlhalla, I didn't even realize it. I had to literally retrain myself. Like, whoa, buddy. Hold back.
No, parrying is huge. You have to wait and parry and punish. Because if you just... Now, again, if you're going against somebody who doesn't... If they don't know what they're doing, you can just go full bore right in and attack them quickly enough to where they can't really react. But if you get somebody that understands like the frame rates and the dodge windows, you're going to get smacked. Yeah, but facing players that are good... but they don't have a style, that's the hardest for me. Because then, like...
very unpredictable.
Yeah, I mean, you can't figure... It's hard to read their moves because they're doing the whole match that's like... They have like 18 different styles. I don't know what they're doing.
Can you slow down?
Yeah, but... so, facing... I've always enjoyed facing online players. Like, we go back to, like... PlayStation 2, it started with... Battlefront 2.
Yep.
And that's where I was like, I got my first taste of like online play, and I'm like, wow, I like this. And then it was the first big one was Warhawk.
Yep.
That's when I got it, like really locked into.
Remember Mass?
I played that.
200 player fucking.
It was
battles.
256, but it was 256 players, but they did it in a weird way because in Mass it was. You had two different teams, 256 players per match, or up to, but you would have sections. You were locked off in a section, and this group had to go in, and this group had to go in, and this group had to go in. And so you weren't actually experiencing a full 256 or 128 fighters.
I think it was like 60 or 70 per board.
Well, no, it was more or less like it was like 20v20, and each unit had to go in, and then at the very end you'd kind of get the idea of the full 200 plus like against each other, but it really wasn't a true 256. It was fun, but it really didn't. Obviously it didn't go that far. But Warhawk was the first one I really got locked into, and that I put tons of time in. And it got really good, and then Starhawk, the predecessor to it, and then after Starhawk, it was Black Ops 2.
Yep,
we got locked into that, and I played a lot of online of that. I loved competitive PvP on that, and then after that, it was Grand Theft Auto online. And that was more of a roam around, but every time we played, anytime I wanted to get in a gunfight with us, I'm like, all right, here we go. I was like hungry for that. I was like, let's fucking go. And then what was it after that? I don't even know. Oh, Battlefront.
Yep.
For PS3.
A little bit.
Or
PS4.
4. Yep. Battlefront and Battlefront 2. And then there were small ones in between. And then Brawlhalla after Battlefront 2. Then I got hooked on Brawlhalla. And then, and this game came out, and like this is like completely off. They still have PvP, which is fun, and it's a good way to get advanced weapons that you're not going to see for a long time. I've won weapons in PvP that they're nowhere near anywhere where I am right now. But it's a good way to get like future weapons. But yeah, as far as RPG goes, this is the first RPG I've gotten into in over 20 years. And the game is so fucking big. Like how far you are? You're still in the first couple of lands, right? Like you went to what was that Kaled, where the crystal tunnel? All right, you weren't there, which you have no business being there. Just like when I started to play.
I was able. So But yes, you're right. I had no business being there. But
the game is a fucking troll.
1v1. I was able to eliminate these enemies.
You can get
but
by
if
them.
2 showed up or a third one showed up, I was fucking done.
Yeah, forget it. You could, and what sucked, like when you had the horse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you lucked out. I got in there. I didn't even know you could have a horse when I started playing. I didn't know anything about the Souls franchise. I didn't know anything about anything. So I went in completely blind. Went walking around. Got out of the first, like...
you were born.
Yeah, I got out of the first temple. Took a right. I was like, oh, a lake. So, piece of candy. So I go down the lake, find those ruins, get in there, and I'm like, oh, cool, a treasure chest right off the bat. Open it up, and boom.
Transporter trap.
Here I am in Caelid, which anyone that doesn't know is this. It's a horrible place for a new player, especially one that doesn't know what's going on.
Horrible, horrible place where bad things happen.
Every enemy there can almost, if not one-shot you. And this is like 10, 15 minutes into me playing the entire game. And to boot, I had no horse. I didn't get my horse yet. So I'm locked in there. And even when you get out, you can't transport right off the bat. So I had to hoof it on foot out of this horrible like area that's just death around every corner.
And
I'm like trying to figure out, looking at the map.
Man bear pigs.
Looking at where I am. Like, where am I? What okay, I got to get... First, you're locked in that like swamp, which just has walls around you. Like, how the fuck do I get out of here? But then you touch the Scarlet Rot swamp, and then you just like if you roll, it just goes up even further. So it was. I almost stopped playing right there. Like, this is bullshit. Like, how the hell the game will humble you?
Oh yes,
but
100%.
What I had to laugh as I'm playing it. Well, once I got out of there and back in, I'm like, okay, I see what this game is now. Like, this game is just gonna like slap you, and if you keep getting up, it's just gonna keep slapping you. Like, all right,
until you get slap back.
And then there was the boss, the first boss, the
tree guardian,
the tree sentinel. Sentinel. Yeah, the the first thing you see when you walk out is the guy. I can't remember his name. The guy in the white mask, which you go on a whole quest later in the game with him or for him. You see this whole huge landscape, the huge Erd tree. Mm-hmm. And then you look down and you see this guy on horseback.
Oh, what if he's friendly? No, he's not friendly.
Well, this was after I looked at him and was like, I don't know. Well, this is before I got transferred. It's like, I don't know. He looks kind of threatening. And anytime you see a guy with an axe in a video game, you're like, I bet you he's not going to be friendly. So I just avoided him altogether until I got back from Caelid. And I'm like, I wonder how hard he's going to be. And by then I had some ruins and I level up a few times, like, let's engage him. So I ran up to him and I swatted him once and he whipped around and he one-shot and killed me. I'm like, all right, so we're not going to do that again.
Nope. The first time I'm like, oh, I wonder if he's like something that he helps me or something like that. I ran right, all of a sudden he texts me, no, not good, yeah. Run away. Oh, I'm dead.
He's brutal too.
He was a bitch. I beat him though. I did beat him.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I did hear you that way when you beat him.
Yep. I beat him. I beat the Black Knight on the bridge.
He, I think, was easier than because he has more of a pattern. Yeah. Again, like, this is pattern based. It's PvE. Once you get
player versus engine.
Yeah, once you get the pattern down for any of those characters, they're relatively easy. Some of them, the ones that throw me off,
fucking dick.
He was really easy. The ones that throw me off are they have a delayed attack animation. Like they'll not just like swing, because when they swing, I have Brawlhalla reactions like, here comes dodge. Those, like, when they charge up, you're like, I don't know when to dodge it. Then you panic dodge, and then by the time you roll, your invincibility frames are already over. And then he comes down, smacks you, and half your life's gone.
I've said that probably 100 times so far. Too soon, Junior.
Yeah. You know, I've said a lot. It's like, when I tell you to roll, I want you to roll.
Yeah. Roll.
Those, I don't even carry a shield. I don't even bother with a shield. It's fine. I've seen people parry and parry very well, and it's very punishable if you parry well. But I just find double-handing swords, because it's like 40 or 50% damage boost double-handing. Mm. So if, like, for that one, that Bloodhound Fang, it's already at like 500 damage or 450. So if I double hand it, I'm dealing like 700 and some damage per swing. So like, what do I? If they swing, just roll toward them. I'll end up behind them, swing again, just punish them again. So
fuck yeah,
I don't even bother with a shield. But
I'll get there.
It.
I think I'm almost into level 30.
You don't want to know level.
How are you? How far are you up now?
It's fucking disgusting.
200?
No, not that far. 162.
Oh, that's good.
It's fucking disgusting. And I've focused a lot on. Now I'm focusing a lot on faith to do incantations because those things are fucking overpowered.
OP.
And they buffed them in the patch before the last one yesterday.
Yeah.
They buffed them. They didn't need to buff them. They were already overpowered. Then they buffed them. And they nerfed melee damage. I'm like, why the fuck? So for PvP, if you're a magician, you're going to fuck up. If you're like a level 190, 100 magician, you're going to fuck up whoever, because it's all ranged. Like that one fire breathing, the dragon thing I had, the Scarlet Rot.
Yeah, it went like 10, 15 feet in front of your character.
That, but they have the magic one, which I use a lot now.
Yeah.
Which is just a blue flame, basically. That's fucking even more brutal. And I found the lightning bolt spear. That thing's brutal too. Like I shoot that and it's like one shot's pretty much anything that's mid range and down because it's 500 and some damage.
I want to throw it at a troll's crotch.
But yeah, they buff magic. I'm like, what are you doing?
Wow.
And then there's farming runes, which is how I've gotten. But this is going back to the Warhawk thing we were talking about earlier in the thing.
Let's save some the farming tricks for Friday.
I'm not going to tell you the tricks yet, but just I tell you, I don't feel bad farming because, like I said, this game will just fucking ball slap you right out of the gates. Like, hey, welcome to Elden Ring. Boom! Oh!
Hey, you bought our game? Thanks.
But pow! I'm like playing it.
I have a boner.
One because I use incantations, and when they buffed it. They even me using them like that's nice, thank you, but this has to be fucking nerfed. Like it's like when you play I play Axe and Brawlhalla, and even when it was like the meta thing, playing it, I'm like I like it. Axe is like a sword, like a light weapon, but you gotta fucking nerf this because it's bullshit, and that's coming from someone who plays Axe. But this using incantations, I'm like again, thank you, but you guys gotta fucking nerf this because it's bullshit.
Shit, man.
With that. Oh, and the rune nerfing. There's a lot of them. Like you guys got to change this because there's going to be people like me.
I gotta get to that spot you were at.
There's 3 spots. One, the double.
The bird.
Oh yeah, the double troll right in the beginning. That's easiest for lower levels. It's the easiest place because they don't really fight back.
Yeah.
So there, and then further on, when you get to Upper Kaled there, where the dragons are, there's that shack, and if you shoot a bow and arrow at one of those like fucking dinosaur wolf dog things, it'll run after you, and you go in that shack, and it can't get in. But the animation, which this is one gripe I originally had, but I found a way to exploit it, is they can attack through walls and shit, which will piss you off. Like when you're going through a tunnel and you go around a corner, but then like some huge claw goes to hit you, and it still hits you. But you can use that to your advantage too. Case in point, this second farming thing. Every time the dog comes after you, its head comes through the wall. Well, if you got a strong weapon, slash it a couple times and get a critical on it, and then you can just run outside. So that's the second place. That's where I got. And you get like 1,800 rune per one. But yeah, that bird, that's the one where everyone. And if you get good magic power incantation and stuff, to the right of where that bird is, there's a bunch of these fucking weird alien looking things that you get like 2,400 rune per, and there's like 20 of them there. And you have strong enough magic, you can one-shot all of them in one hit. So then you hit the bird, 13, turn around, hit all those, there's like another 18 or something, or 20,000. And it takes like 10 seconds to do the whole thing. Then you go, sit down, rinse and repeat. I farmed like 4.5 million runes. Yeah, so
once again, you're the millionaire in another video game.
It's those modders. Fucking modders.
Fucking modded PS4 player here.
All right, well, thanks for coming over. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for fucking having me, bud.
Yeah,
glad to be back. Thanks for joining us, you fuckers.
Yeah, don't get... Never mind.
Yeah, fuck you. Predict me to win something. Fuck good something. Charlie, you're gonna get laid.
COVID.